am living my best life, right? Like, I just had my heart shitted on. So I was like, men, right? They're there for my pleasure. Had a whole roster. I was like, hell yeah, I'm that bitch.
Blows my mind that somebody like this not only exists, but also is delusional enough to post it online.
And I get a DM. And this dude, who I've known of him since high school, but I've never really like known him, and I never really gave him a shot. Like, he had DM'd me like, I want to say like 7 times before this time when I responded to him. I don't know, it was like the middle of the night and I was bored, so I was like, yeah, why not?
Oh! Ew! Dude!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We have a woman today that's been heartbroken, and Ampu, please don't laugh at this is serious matters. So guys, before you shed any tears for this woman's tragic story, I gotta say that a lot of women today are having this problem, that they're being ghosted and absolutely trashed by some men. A very small percentage of men, I would say. And coincidentally, you know, these women that often get this sort of experience are Gen Z or millennials. What a coincidence. Will it be because of the internet that these women have very high standards and expectations, and they have so many options that they only go for the ones that they think, you know, that they deserve, yet they don't actually deserve? Will it be because of the internet that especially these two generations are getting so much crap in their dating histories? I don't know, guys. Let's find out. Let's have a listen.
I am living my best life, right? Like, I just had my heart shitted on. So I was like, men, right? They're there for my pleasure. Had a whole roster. I was like, hell yeah, I'm that bitch. And I get a DM.
I don't know how many red flags you can fit in the span of 15 seconds, but this woman managed to get more than I expected. So I won't get started on each one individually, but let's just say that no man is looking for a girlfriend that defines herself as being a beach. You know what I mean? It's absolutely pathetic, and this whole attitude of like, haha, I'm really funny, really extroverted, and I shout and I yell a lot, so that must mean I'm funny. No, it just means you're stupid.
And this dude, who I've known of him since high school, but I've never really like known him, and I never really gave him a shot. Like, he had DM'd me like, I want to say like 7 times before this time when I responded to him. I don't know, it was like the middle of the night and I was bored, so I was like, yeah, why not? So I started.
And there's your average Joe. Now, this man probably has some good aspects about him. You know, he goes to the gym, or he does that, or he does this other thing. He's not necessarily ugly, you know, maybe. But it is just these women view everyone but Chad as an average Joe, and they don't even contemplate them as an option. The only reason why this woman decided to give this man an opportunity is because she was feeling bored, and because she was just dismissed by someone who she views as high value. You know, for women, guys, for most women nowadays, they see us as, you know, these 5% of men are the best of us, and then the 95% of men are the rest of us. That's it. They only care and only contemplate and only view as viable options the 5% of men, which, because they are so attractive, because they are rich a lot of the times, or famous or whatever, they have way better options, and a lot of the time they're just looking to have something fun. If they were looking for something serious, they wouldn't even look in your direction. Am I being clear?
DMing him, and we DM for like 2.
Oh, sorry guys, before we continue, another thing worth mentioning. This is why we have to hold men accountable and just stop giving these women attention. Attention and validation are really expensive in the dating market, and they are resources that should be, you know, that you should keep to yourself. You should invest your time, effort, money, whatever, only in women that deserve it. And then they wouldn't be that entitled. Because if these women didn't have options, they would revert back to being a normal human being they wouldn't be so entitled, they wouldn't have such high expectations because they wouldn't have as many options. But you see that just even this woman that is absolutely mid gets many attention from multiple guys, and this is why she doesn't pay attention to 95% of them.
It was like the middle of the night and I was bored, so I was like, yeah, why not? So I started DMing him, and we DM'd for like 2 days, and so he asked for my number, right? And I'm like, okay, like, sure, like, I'm having a good time here, why not? Again, I'm not thinking a lot about this. I've never been attracted to this man. I have never once thought about this man in that way, and I've known of him because his friends have tried to set us up, but like, I was just like, nah, it's not for me.
That's how women view you if you don't happen to be Chad, alright? Guys, you have to know this, and look, I think we've all been there where we thought at one moment in our lives that if I show this woman attention, if I treat her well, she's going to value me. It's quite funny, you know, thinking of that. But you can do that maybe when you are 12 and this is like your first attempt at a girlfriend. I understand that. But any man who is an adult and you do this, you're just a simp. You're a pathetic simp. You're a loser. You are dumb, unintelligent. You don't have pattern recognition. And you're gonna end up like this man, just wasting your time for women that don't care about you. The only moments where they will possibly eventually care about you, it will be because they are interested in getting your money or just some validation because they have run out of better options. Don't be that guy.
So we start texting. We've been texting for a while now, and I'm like, damn. Why he got me smiling though? We're texting. I'm teeing.
What? Are you meaning to tell me when you give the good guys a chance, you actually, you know, realize that you can have something with them? That when you stop chasing after the men who are emotionally unavailable and see you as a piece of meat, you can actually get some decent human relationships? Wow, guys, just astonishing, groundbreaking discoveries by this woman.
I think that he's actually super funny, and so I'm into it. I'm like, okay. And then he adds me on Snapchat because at this point, like, I've only seen his Instagram page, and you know, like, I mean, his Instagram page is nice, like, he's got style, but he's also a man, you know, like, they can always do better. So like, I didn't know what he looked like up to date, you know. So when I got him on Snapchat and he finally sent me a video of his face, I was like, wait the damn minute. This motherfucker had the most beautiful curly hair that I have seen in my life. Like, and he was telling me that he had a bad hair day, and I was like, shut your dirty mouth, okay? Don't speak about her like that, because it's literally like perfect ringlets and it's like a full head. I'm not gonna get into it. This man was a curly-headed cutie with green eyes. I literally like I did a thing where I wrote down like my ideal male mate or whatever the and I literally described that. Curly hair, light eyes, tan skin. He was pale, so I will say that. I didn't get that right. But anyways, I start Snapchatting him. I'm texting him. We text all day. We text all night because we both stay up very late. So while we've been talking, like, I've been having a good time, but I have noticed that his style of texting is very minimalistic. Like, it was dry, but he was consistent with it. So it was like, it didn't feel like he wasn't trying. It was just like, I guess he just talks that way. Because he would respond to me immediately and like all the time, like all day, all night. So I didn't think anything about it. But like, side note, in the beginning when I first started talking to him, I did say something about that. I kind of flipped out. I'm a traumatized bitch, okay? I'm doing what I can. But I was like, I'm gonna go if you're just gonna use me for my body. And he was like, what the f are you talking about? But I expressed to him that the way that he talked, like, I don't know, it was just very unsure about like what he meant ever. And it was very like boy-esque. So, but anyways, we recovered from that, right? And I apologized and I was like, yeah, like, I won't freak out again. And I freak out again. I actually made a TikTok about this. I freak out because he's sending me pictures and he posts one of the pictures or videos that he sent me on his story. And I am, again, mentally ill and traumatized. So I'm
honestly, guys, I couldn't care less about her story. I was trying to look for something more interesting. But here's something. The editor that works for the Fiend Gang left me a note on this video that at some point he just gave up on silencing every time she cusses. Right? Every time she uses a mean word that YouTube dislikes, he just stopped because it's too much work, you know? because it will take him to edit all the bad words that this woman says more than he can produce 7 videos. So it's just these women, guys. I don't know if they don't have parents. Like, what's the matter? Why are you so unpleasant, man? I'm finding it hard to get through 3 minutes of this video. What man in his sane mind would want to be with this woman? And this other guy, he has her Instagram, right? So he must know what type of person she is. I don't know. She posts this on TikTok, but I'm guessing he has her TikTok as well, or he has to know. Such an unpleasant woman. I wouldn't want this woman as a friend. I wouldn't want her as a neighbor. What is this attitude? So disrespectful, so annoying, so uninteresting. I don't know, like, guys, is it just me, or just what is going on, man?
I'm not very good at like verbalizing or like really pinpointing what I want in the beginning. Like sometimes I'm very overwhelmed with emotion and it takes me some time. And I realized that the words I wanted, where like, I want you to send me shit that's just for me. That's it. And we had a...
And this woman, of course, is absolutely insane. Like, this is the type of woman you shouldn't touch with a 6-foot pole. Because a woman that describes herself as, oh, I'm traumatized, I'm mentally ill, I'm unstable. Yeah, no thank you, run for the hills. It is just, this woman, now you may not pick up on it because she's talking about bullcrap about apps or whatever, social apps. But the moment you start living with this woman, like let's say you're in a family or something, all these things she's saying, these little breadcrumbs she's leaving along the way, these little hints at the idea that she's insane, they will start to show up. Like, this is the type of woman that creates problems out of thin air, is incredibly emotionally unstable and needs validation and attention all the time. This is the type of woman that you slip up, you do a little mistake, like not paying her attention for more than 2 hours, and she's already creating massive problems, leaving you, getting back with her ex, cheating on you. This is the type of woman. She's absolutely insane.
Conversation about that. I blew up on him, kind of. Because I said something about it on Snapchat. He sent me a picture of his face. He didn't say anything to it. So I was like, you fucking dismissed me the next day. He was like, what did I dismiss? And he's like, I didn't think you were serious. And I was like, I'm always serious. But no, for real, like, we were fine. Once I was an adult and I said what I wanted, he understood, because, like, I guess it wasn't clicking in his brain what I was trying to say. So after that, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Like, every time I get upset and I'm like, I'm gonna go. So we keep talking and everything is fine, right? Well, I think. And so I go to my hometown, which is where he lives. I thought he lived in the town that I moved into, but apparently he moved away a month after I got here. So that was a real kick in the fucking face. But anyways, I go back to visit my friends, right? But because I'm there, I'm gonna be there. I tell him that I want to meet him. And he's like, I can't, like, he had shit that weekend. He couldn't. And I was like, okay, like, bummer, but like, I get it. Like, it's fine. But when I'm there, he tells me his mom isn't coming home and essentially invites me over. Now, keep in mind, it's late. I just went out. Like, I am drunk. I didn't even drive myself to the venue type shit. Like, so I'm like, I can't drive to you. He found out that I was 10 minutes away from him. I said the address that I was at. And I was 10 minutes away from him. And do you want to know what he said? Do you want to know what he said? He said, I don't feel like driving. Super cool. So on my end, I'm like, okay. That's weird. But I keep talking to him and I talk to my friends because I am crazy, right? And so I need to get everybody's opinion to make sure that I'm not fucking tripping, especially since I've already tripped on him like 3 times and I told him I wouldn't do it again. And
what did I tell you guys? This woman is absolutely bananas, to say it mildly. Like, absolutely a woman that brings trouble and problems onto your life. And look, what I've seen from men, well, I'm a man as well, but what I've seen from other men as well is that the thing we most want out of this life is for it to be peaceful. That's it, man. Like, a lot of men, they don't care about money that much. Like, they don't care if they are really rich or average. The thing they care the most about is a peaceful life with no additional problems. Like, we already have enough problems, we already go through enough pain, we don't need more. And the thing with women, just by nature, even the good ones, is that they often create more problems. just because they have more demands and more needs and they are more emotional and all that stuff. So, you know, women by default create more problems. But let's say a good woman, it's all right, you know, we're different, it's okay. And good women tend to bring much more joy and, you know, fulfillment into a man's life than the problems they create. But these women, guys, that they're just nothing else but a black hole. You get sucked into it, and it's a void. Well, not a void, but it's like a well filled with problems, and you drop down. You can't, you know, get out of there. These women, guys, they ruin your life for real. There's nothing worse than this type of woman. I'd rather have both my knees broken. I'd rather have both my arms cut off than to have this woman in my life. That I can recover from anything, but this woman into my life. It's absolutely horrible to have these individuals into your life. They'll create nothing but chaos. They're just a ball of black energy and chaos that sucks all the life out of you, all the joy. They're like a vampire, you know, trying to suck out all the good things in life and bring nothing but problems.
I talked to a friend who knew him from high school, right? Like I guess they had a close friend group. So like they knew each other, but she's my bestie now, right? So she's rooting for this. She's like, he's a good guy, like he's a nice guy. Like if this goes well, like I'm taking full credit, but if it goes bad, then I had nothing to do with it. And I was like, okay, word, say less. So like he's got somebody vouching for him, and I've heard other people vouch for him, and they're like, yeah, he's a good guy, and blah blah blah, he's a simp, blah blah blah. I was like, that's crazy because I haven't seen that. But anyways, I decide to just, you know, leave it for another time, right? Because technically I wasn't supposed to see him at all. So I'm like, okay, fine. The next day, I'm like, I'm disappointed I didn't get to see you. The next time I come down, like, you have to see me. And I didn't mean that as like an order. I'm just like trying to express to you that I wanted to see you, stupid. And he says, not my fault. Like, sir, what? Anyways, fast forward, and I go home the day after that, right? Like, I'm thinking we're okay, but he is responding like hours between responses. Like, he is dry. He's hardly been contacting me all day, and I normally wouldn't really care.
You know what happened, guys? He just found out her TikTok. I'm not saying this as a joke. Unironically, if this man was interested in her in the beginning, but then suddenly, without anything happening, you know, stopped, he just found out. He found out what type of person she is. Maybe they were chatting and she mentioned something along the lines of, well, I've slept with 500 people. I've been chasing chat for the last 5 years. Something like this. Or he just found out about her socials. Like, can you picture this guy following her on TikTok and she just drops a video about, oh, this child just crapped all over my heart. F man, you know, all these things. He found out something, right? Men, they don't ghost for no reason, alright? We happen to be rational creatures, as opposite to women. I'm kidding. But yeah, we are rational and logical, and we just don't do things for no apparent reason. This guy absolutely did find out about something.
About that, like, you know, you got your own life, but we have been consistently talking for over a month now. So like, I know that that's not his normal, right? Like, even when he's at work, like, he'd be texting me. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, at this point, I have asked him twice to give me a little bit more reassurance. I'm like, you know, throw in a compliment here or there. You know, I spoke about this calmly, right? I had a whole conversation and I was like, yeah, like, I just need some reassurance, right? Like, I just want to know that you want me here. And he said, okay. And then did nothing. He just ignored me. So when he's being dry like this, I'm like, okay, like, you are distancing. You're not interested. So I say something about it, and he's like, aren't my messages always dry? So I'm like, I guess so. Nonchalant comes off as uninterested and forced. So I'm gonna go. And he said, all right then. And that made me unalive myself. And you'd think it'd stop there, but no, I have no self-control. And I can't let things go until I understand them down to my bones. And so we start messaging again, and when we talk...
No, it's not about trying to understand them, alright? It's not that this woman is a really good philosopher that likes to get to the bottom of things and understand the nature of men, women, and the dynamics between the genders. No, she's just addicted to anxiety, and that's why she's chasing after the men who clearly don't care about her. You know, like in the first instances, you're still confused. What is going on? You were texting me this much, now you stopped. But at a certain point, like the guy is straight up telling you, I'm not interested in you, stop messaging me. And this woman, no, I gotta get to the bottom of it. The bottom of it is he found out about your little stupid TikTok. Alright, he found out about all the red flags and he said, damn, why the hell was I trying to get with this woman in the first place? So I thought that he was an average Joe, like a simp. But it turns out he was a little more intelligent. So good on that. Honestly, I had different expectations for this video. I haven't watched it. I thought that we're gonna discuss a little more about, you know, how women chase chat and they don't pay attention at all to normal guys. But this whole video, guys, turned out into me just amusing myself with the amount of red flags that a woman can fit in one video.
Talk about the night that he couldn't come to me, he tells me that he was drunk. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy because you told me you didn't feel like driving. Those are two separate things, my friend. I did say I wouldn't do it again, right? That I wouldn't like snap and just be like, and as soon as I did, I like removed him on Snapchat and everything. So like, that's my bad. And like, I apologize for that. Like, I was like, yeah, okay, like that's fucked up of me. Like, I don't want to be that person and I hate that I did that to you and I'm sorry. And at no point in this did he.
Another thing, so what I understand, maybe she said something different, but what I understood is because the guy didn't want to drive her, she deleted him from her social apps. Now, I've seen this in women, guys. It's a massive red flag, all right? These women that the slightest problem just delete everything, delete all your contacts and all the photos, etc. Massive red flag, like behaving like a toddler. And not even toddlers behave that way, you know, like maybe some like little bratty little piece of crap kid that every time he gets offended breaks all his toys or something like this. I don't know what the exact example will be, but massive red flag. If you have a girlfriend that does that, like every time you have a problem she blocks you or she deletes your number or something like this, just cut her off. My advice. Like, what are you going to do with that type of person? Imagine you get in a marriage with that person and a problem starts. What is she going to do? She's going to tell you to sleep on the couch every night. She's going to delete you from everywhere all the time. Go to hell, man. You have this attitude of being a little bratty piece of crap. Be by yourself, please.
Take any accountability for how he dismissed my feelings or made me feel, but he was like, yeah, I just don't think that I'm interested with how things have been going. What the fuck? I really don't know. I don't understand. So if you know where it went wrong or what the fuck happened, let me know, because I don't understand.
Yeah, and TikTok, and of course, guys, I know, and I already told you, he just found out, right? This is a story that she posted on her TikTok, and she has posted many like this, like this chat stood me up, this chat pumped and then dumped me, this chat banged and bailed, this other one, you know, these other 5 chats have run me through. You just found out, and you're making yet another TikTok in which you say the whole reason to even start looking at this guy is because you were bored on a Tuesday night and you wanted some free validation. It's just, look, this is why, guys, I'll end on this thought and I'll put some gameplay. The reason for this channel to exist, I'm not a black pill, you know, guy. I'm a red pill guy. And the narrative here is not to not date women at all. Just to not date these ones. This is what I'm talking about. Yes, yeah, there are a lot of legal problems in regards to marriage. Yes, it's really risky out there. There are a lot of red flags. There are a lot of bad women. I believe in all that. But I will never go as far as to say something like, well, don't get married or don't deal with women in a serious way. Why? Well, because the women who are bad and who can ruin your life, in most of the cases, guys, it's really easy to spot, right? These women, they cannot they cannot behave like good traditional women, all right? Like, can you picture these ruins of people trying to act like a decent human being, you know, trying to act like a traditional wife? They can't do it. You can't pay them enough to do it, alright? Like, even if their life depends on it, they cannot hide how bad people they are, how bad girlfriends they will make for. So this is why, you know, my understanding of dating is, don't just give up on it, alright? Well, if you want to be alone, that's on you, but if you want to find a girlfriend, don't give up, because you can find one. You may not, but you can. The thing with women is, guys, with these bad ones anyway, they cannot hide it. When you get to know them, they cannot hide the trashy person they are. They cannot hide all their flaws. They cannot hide all their stupid beliefs, their entitlement, their red flags, even their dating history. They can lie about how many people they've slept with, but when you get to know them, when you pick up on the red flags along the way, you'll really easily find out that they're just trash, alright? Like this guy. So, again, that's my point. Again, yes, there are, you know, multiple red flags about, in general, just being on dating apps. There are multiple dangers to going on dates with women, because they can just go for the free meal. I'm not saying by any means that you know, the dating world is perfect and you just sort out, you just weed out the bad ones from the good ones. No, I'm not saying that. You have to be really precautious. But what I'm saying is, when looking for a serious partner, it's quite easy to get to know, you know, which ones are the good ones. But with that being said, guys, leave me your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.